Right guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is Necrons versus Tom's Grey Knights again. So what we've got here is a planet where a demon artifact is buried. The Grey Knights are aware of it. The planet is being populated by civilians who've established themselves and looking to hopefully get a foothold in the planet. And suddenly one night the glowing blue eyes have appeared through the smoke and mist, and the civilians have fled. They've radioed the Grey Knights, and the Grey Knights are coming to take on the demons that they think are trying to chase the civilians off the planet. Little did the Grey Knights know though that when they actually arrive, they face a marching wall of Necrons. Today's mission is Cloak and Shadows, and we've got Hammer and Anvil deployment. We've got 3 objectives running up this side of the table. Number 3 there. Number 4. 5. And number 6. We don't know who is on what side yet. The Grey Knights are going in blind for the moment. Let's see what happens. Right, so here we go. This is the Necron force today. We are, of course, running a Decurion. So, for the Lord of the Decurion, we have Anarchy of the Traveller and 5 Lichguard with War Signs. We've got 10 Immortals with Gauze Blasters, 2 units of 10 Warriors, and, of course, the Monolith. We've got 2 units of Tomb Blades with Nebula Scopes and Shield Veins. These ones at the front, I can't remember the name of the gun. Yeah, the blast ones. They've got the twin-linked Gauze Blasters. The Warlord today is going to be the Destroyer Lord. He's got Phylactery, Phase Shifter, and the Void Reaper. And his Warlord trait was Eternal Warrior. Hallelujah. We've also then got 3 units of 3 destroyers with 3 heavies, 1 in each. And then of course we have the Canoptic Harvest. We've got the Wraiths there with whip coils, a standard spider with 3 scarabs, and making an appearance, the Catan Shard of the Nightbringer. So let's have a look at Thomas's Grey Knights.
Okay, so here's my army for today. I'm going to start off with me Vindicare Assassin, and across here for my level 3 Librarian, who has a Teleport Homer, the Libra Demonica, the Curious Sacrifice, with the Terminator Squad, with the Side Cannon and the Justicars Melter Bombs. The Librarian's psychic powers are Banishment, Gate of Infinity, which is hopefully going to come in handy, Hammerhand, Sanctuary, I'm hoping I'm not going to need that, Purge Soul, and I think everyone's favourite is Vortex of Doom. And then over here I have a 10-man Interceptor Squad, Justicars, Melter Bombs, and 2 Incinerators. At the back I have another 5-man Interceptor Squad, Justicars, Melter Bombs, another Incinerator. Over here we have, of course, Drago with a 5-man Terminator Squad, the Justicars, Melter Bombs, and a Side Cannon. And then at the back we have 3 Dread Knights, which is a Dread Knight Brethren formation. So each Dread Knight has a Teleport Homer, has the sword, a heavy Side Cannon, a heavy Incinerator, and the big guy in the middle there with the gold icon on him. Every Dread Knight within 12 inches of him also gains Shred, which does come in handy.
Right, so Necrons have won the roll-off. I've elected to deploy on this side, and the plan is basically to keep the Warriors and these Tomb Blades here and the Catan to have a strong side, as well as the unit of Warriors. The Lichguard hiding behind the Monolith to hold a strong flank, and then over this flank we've got all me Destroyers and the Wraiths, the other Tomb Blades, and a unit of Warriors, just to try and have a bit of a faster flank, hopefully try and sweep round a little bit. Tom, meanwhile, has deployed Kevin, Bob and Stuart along these side, and the Vindicator keeping out a line of sight there. What we're doing is we're going to play the buildings a little bit differently. So like this building here, you can move freely through the centre of it, but if you climb through the windows or anything, you have to roll and move through a cover. You can't go straight through a solid wall. If you move through the doors, it just counts as open terrain, so that's for any of these solid structures. Ruins will still play as normal though, and it is going to be full cover in all of the ruins. The sun is just about to rise, it is night fighting, and currently I want to take first turn unless Tom seizes. Do you want to seize, Tom?
Damn right I do.
Oh, I saw the 6 there as well, so close.
Thanks.
Right, Necrons, turn 1. Right, so these are the cards that I drew turn 1. I reckon I can get one of them, the other 2 probably not. That one, I'll nominate me Warlord, but I'm probably going to be ditching it. So, let's have a look at movement. Right, so we've done the movement. The Catan and the Tomb Blades are pulled this way. We've moved everything forward. These guys got a 5-inch move through cover. The Monolith, as well as the Lich Guard and Anakia have pulled forward. Just a note as well, me Immortals are in reserves. The Destroyer Lord has pushed forward. He is within 3 inches of that, and it is +1 to his cover save. So if I get him in there with jetpack moves, it's going to make him have a 2+ cover save, which is nice and tasty. The one down here is sabotaged. The Destroyers, the Spider, and the Warriors have all pushed forward, as have the Wraiths. The Spider bred another base of Scarabs, and she didn't take a wound. The Warriors here are spreading out. That is a Sky Firing Nexus. It's not going to come into play in this game. And this one is a Graviton Wave Generator. So I don't really have a plan at the moment apart from spread out. Maybe open up a few places for Tom. Maybe he might deep strike behind my lines. Maybe he'll land in front of us. But I'm trying to spread out just enough that I've got the mobility, but keep together enough that I can deal with any threats that come forward. So, Tom, would you like to choose my Catan's power?
I've got the worst one.
I have no idea. Where is it?
Right. 4 stars.
Yeah, that's not bad. Right, so just realising the Catan only has a 24-inch range. He's decided to run instead, so he's ran into the building just to hug that 3-up cover for the time being. So that's pretty much it for the Necron's turn. Right, so at the end of Necron turn 1, I don't score Dust and Ashes, and I will be discarding that one. I do score the next one, Secure Objective 4. I'm going to keep hold of the other one though, so as it stands, that is 1-0 to the Necrons.
Okay, so Grey Knight's turn 1, I've drawn these objectives. I've drawn Secure Objective 1, Secure Objective 2, and Secure Objective 5. So, looking at the objectives on the table, I'm going to be deep striking down his end to try and get them. Fantastic stuff.
Right, so Grey Knight's turn 1, Tom's doing his deep strikes now. Everything is coming on from reserve. We're going to catch these on camera in case anything goes amiss. So Tom, do you want to roll the dice for the Librarian? Does he scatter? Oh, 10 inches forward. 10 inches, going to put him just there. That's going to be a mishap by the time you have all them on there, isn't it?
I think so.
Oh,
try to fit them in.
You'll be within an inch.
Yeah, you're right.
So what happens? Roll a 1, roll a 1. Nope, ongoing reserves.
Reserve.
Fine. Next scatter, which one do you want to do now?
I'll go for the 10-man intercept squad.
This is the 10-man here, is it?
Yep. No, that's the 5-man, sorry.
5-man.
Do that one. 4 inches?
4 inches, just next to the rock. Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Right, so this is the 10-man squad. Where they're going?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
4 inches.
4 inches. So that's just going to be out of an inch by the time you circle them. And then we've got Drago over here, looking across. Where's he going? Oh, wrong way. Oh, is that going to be right in the ruins? Just on the other side. Cool stuff. So we'll do the rest of Tom's movement and then come back. Alright, so the end of the movement phase for the Grey Knights. Bob has jumped forward, he hasn't shunted, and he's looking to shoot down the monolith. You can see the portal, and he's worried about what's going to come out of it. Stuart has also pushed forward as well as the Vindicator, probably looking to start eating away at some of the wraiths or the scarabs. And who's left? Bob, Stuart, and Kevin. I don't know. We're looking to probably start eating away some wounds at the destroyers on this side. So let's move on to the shooting phase, psychic phase, damn Grey Knights, and yeah, let's see what brutality is going to happen. Right, so Tom rolled a 5, which meant he had how many dice? 16 or something? Yeah. This Dread Knight got Sanctuary off, I chose not to stop it. This Dread Knight got Sanctuary off, I chose not to stop it. This Dread Knight didn't get Sanctuary off. These guys didn't get Force off. These guys didn't get Force off. He had 4 dice left with Drago, and he went for Purge Soul on the Wraiths. He did manage to beat me on the dice roll, but the Wraiths Invuns managed to hold out, and I didn't actually use any of my dice to stop anything. Kind of wish I'd chucked it at one of the Dread Knights now, but never mind. So that is it for the psychic phase. Let's move on to the shooting phase. Alright, so Tom's done his run moves before he does his shooting. The Incinerators are going to be targeting the Tomb Blades here. Hopefully, because we have 3 up armour and 4 res, we should be able to weather the flamers, but the amount of Stormbolter shots coming in might be tough. Over this side, these ones have ran, looking to take the Warriors out on this side as well. Again, although we're not going to be getting armour saves, at least we've got a 4 res, re-rolling 1s because of Anarchy being just there as well. Right, so down here Bob took aim at the monolith and managed to get a single rend, and as a result I was worried in case Tom was going to end up with a pen. However, he only got a single glance. The monolith is on 3, failed its night fighting save. The Vindicator that moved through cover, this is now a Skyfire Nexus, decided to snap shoot his rifle at the Destroyer Lord. Fortunately didn't get a hit. The Wraiths here have taken wounds. Drago in his retinue, and this Dread Knight here, all the side cannons and Stormbolters went in, and unfortunately I took a wound on each of the lead guys. Then around this side, Stuart decided to lay some smackdown on the destroyers here and didn't do any damage at all. 3 up, followed by 4 up. Reanimation meant no wounds were dealt out. Best part of the shooting phase for Tom, these guys managed to kill one of the Tomb Blades, Soul Blazed them, they failed the leadership check, and they've ran 10 inches back. They didn't take any wounds to Soul Blaze, but obviously that's neutered them for the next turn. Shame really, the Strength 6 Blast would have come in handy on this, but never mind. The only other shooting that happened is down here. These guys managed to kill 2 of the Warriors, not enough to force a morale check. I did pass quite a lot of reanimations and remembered the re-rolling 1s. So the Necrons are standing tall. We are about to come back and do some damage, hopefully. Let's see what we can do.
Okay, so unfortunately didn't get any objectives this turn. However, I am going to discard objective 5. I think that's the one I'm least likely to get at the moment, as I've got a lot going around 1 and 2, and get the 5th one possible, but maybe in a later turn. I'd rather wait and see what the next card's going to be. So hopefully get a bit of a look at that on the next turn.
Alright, so these are the cards I've drew at the start of turn 2. This one I need odds. It's going to be incredibly difficult to get that. I've got that one and I've got that one. Both going to be very, very difficult indeed. Right, so we've come back. This unit of Warriors looking to take on these guys here. I'm keeping Anarchy right in the centre just to keep granting that re-roll 1s for reanimations. The Immortals have came in via the portal on the monolith. The monolith has pulled forward ever so slightly, just so we can still get line of sight over there as well. The Tomb Blades and the Catan pushing forward, looking to start eating into this unit, start thinning out Drago's unit and see if we can single them out, ready for somebody to do some damage. We're at another unit of Scarabs. The Wraith's plan is to come over here and hopefully take out the Assassin. He's a big threat, so hopefully we can do some damage and get rid of that. The Destroyers are kind of floating about in the centre. I don't quite know what to do with them. I'm still finding my feet with them, but they can either shoot at the Dread Knight. We've got the squad there, or we've got Drago's unit here as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's move on to the shooting phase. Fingers crossed I can do some damage this time. Right, our shooting phase hasn't gone too well, but hopefully combats we can make up for it. So down here, these warriors, we rapid fired in and cut down the guy with the incinerator. Only the one fell, so hopefully in combats we should be able to either tie them up or at least potentially look to get rid of them. The unit over here, we managed to thin them out quite considerably, getting rid of the incinerators thanks to the warriors rapid firing, and the 2 units of destroyers from here, and these ones shooting back as well. My heavy destroyers need to learn to shoot, because not only do they miss every time, the guy that did actually hit, however, this one managed to thin out the Terminator squad, and I made a bit of a mistake. I placed my Immortals here specifically to be within rapid fire range, but because I shot my heavy destroyer first and killed the closest guy, I was out of rapid fire range. So we managed to get times arrow with the Catan looking straight through the building there, and we managed to wound just a single Terminator. Unfortunately, Drago wasn't the closest, and Tom passed his cover save. So yeah, that was nice. The Destroyer Lord also shot in with the Staff of Light. We even dropped the large template from the Flux Arc on the particle whip from the monolith, and despite getting 1 or 2 wounds, Tom passed his invuns. We did, however, manage to bring one down due to snap firing from the Flux Arc on the monolith, which was brilliant. The Tomb Blades here also rapid fired in as well. Obviously these are a bit of a sitting duck now for the Dread Knight that is there, but at least we've got reanimation. So let's move on to the assault phase. Right, so assault phases, the plan with the destroyers is to get out the way. So these guys have pulled sideways, these ones are pulled down, and the ones that were in the centre have jumped in here. Again, I'm not quite sure what I want to do with the destroyers, but yeah. The warriors down here have charged in. I want to try and at least tie these guys up here, and we managed to actually bring down one of the squad. In return, I lost one as well. So that is a tie combat down here. Up here, I elected not to charge. I didn't want this squad more than 12 inches away from Anakia, but it does mean that he's probably going to be charging and cutting some of them down next turn. Right, so the plan was to get the Wraiths over here to take out this Vindicare, and the Destroyer Lord is charging a Drago. Hopefully we can tie him up. I know he's probably going to Gate of Infinity out next turn, but hopefully the Destroyer Lord will get a wound or 2 in on him. He's already lost 1 due to the shooting. The Scarabs have also charged in. Hopefully we can cut those 2 Terminators down whilst they haven't got Hammer Hand on as well. So fingers crossed, the plan is to try and neutralise some of the big units with hard hitting stuff before Tom shoots them down. Right, so we're going to film this key combat here. Tom does get to go first. The Vindicator's initiative is stupid. He's got 5 attacks against the Wraith. Do you want to? Yep. You're hitting on 3s. I miss 1. Strength 4, is he?
Yeah, strength 4. So
I am toughness 5, so wounding on 5s. That is 1 save, 3 up in run. We'll re-roll that one, and he's fine. So I then get 12 attacks back. I'm hitting on 4s. That's awful. I am then wounding on 2s. Toughness 4? So that's 4 invuns that you need to make. Oh!
And he's dead.
And he's down. Oh no.
God damn it.
Right, so this is another key combat down here. We're going to make sure that we get this one on camera as well. The Destroyer Lord has sighted Drago and he wants a piece of him. So we're going to do the Drago and the Destroyer Lord first. So Tom, Hitting on 3s, mastercrafted.
Oh my god.
2 hits, strength.
Strength 7.
So wounded on 3s.
2 wounds.
2 wounds. So he's got a 4 inrun, which he fails. And then he's got 4 reanimation, which he passes. Awesome. I then get 4 attacks back for charging. That's great. So preferred enemy will re-roll the 1s. And then mastercrafted will re-roll the 2. For 3 wounds, AP 2, fleshbane, re-roll the 1 for preferred enemy. So there you go, Tom. 3 inruns that you need to make.
So 3 ups because of the storm shield.
Yep.
That is a cheesy git. Oh my god!
Oh my word! Necrons win in combat. Who would have guessed it?
God damn it, Drago!
So can the winning streak for Necrons in combat do anything else? We've got down here 2 Terminators against 5 Scarabases. So you're hitting on 3s, Tom. Yeah. What's your strength?
Strength 4.
So you win on 3s.
3s? Fantastic.
Yep, there's...
Because I didn't need that last time.
So I still have reanimation, so I've got 4 reanimations. So 1 base takes a single wound. And they've got 3 wounds each, Tom.
Oh, fun! Yay!
So let's count up my attacks back. I have 25 attacks. Right, so here we go. 25 attacks, hitting on 4s. Wounding on 5s with 15 dice. Alright, so 6 armor saves. Roll 2 1s, please.
No thanks.
Yes! Nope. So they hold. The Scarabs are fearless. Alright, so no wounds dealt out on the Terminators, but they do now need to take a leadership check as they did lose combat. They actually lost by 2 as one of the Scarabases took a wound. So leadership 7, justifies 9 minus 2.
Oh, like a pro.
Why couldn't you have rolled that for your saves?
Because I hate you.
So right, let's have a look at the rest of the field. Right, so we managed to take out the Vindicator over here, scoring us objective 6. The Destroyers here secure objective 5. And yeah, I didn't secure all of the odds, so I'm going to discard.
Okay, so start going out to turn 2. I've drawn Hold the Line, which is hopefully at least a guaranteed point. So they've got objective 2 and 1. I'm probably going to hang on to them simply because I think if I can punch through into the middle, I should be able to get a hold of that in objective 1. If I win that combat down the bottom with the other Necrons, yeah, it's pretty much a 1, but I think they're going to need some support to do that. So we'll give it a go, see what happens.
So the Librarian heard Drago's cries, he sucked back into the warp.
Shut up, you!
And he wants a piece, but he's scared of the Destroyer Lord, so instead he's going to pick on Anakia. Hopefully he doesn't kill him, because I know straight where my Lich Guard are going next turn. Yeah. The 2 Dread Knights here are looking to get a pincer attack in on the large blob of Immortals and the Tomb Blades here with the Incinerators and the Side Cannons. Over this side, the Dread Knight. You wish. Yeah, I wish it was Dreadnought. Is going to be hitting the 2 wraiths there with the single wound each at the front. The Interceptors have spotted the Librarian across the other side of the battlefield, and they're looking to hopefully start moving towards him and take things out in the centre, whilst the Dread Knights deal with the outside of the Necron forces. Let's see what warp damage is done in the psychic phase. Right, so Tom's trying to get force off on these to hopefully take out the Destroyers. He's got a lot of wounds to chum through, otherwise unfortunately he didn't get it off. Meanwhile in the psychic phase, the Librarian's unit have cast Sanctuary and it went off, and I knew what was coming. He was casting Vortex of Doom. He's going to try and get on Anakia. He did actually get it off 3 times, chucking about 10 dice in, and I did manage to roll 2 6s and a 2, so I didn't quite stop, unfortunately. Tom, where are you placing it?
Just on the corner of the monolith, so it's in the monolith and him.
No problem. Minus ballistic skill 4.
Yep.
Oh, that's good for me. Very good indeed.
9 inches.
No, it's not. 7 inches back. No, it's Yeah, at 7 inches back.
About there.
Yep. So lucky. So lucky. Right, so the shooting phase over here, the Terminators with the Storm Bolters and the side cannon managed to actually bring down 2 of the Lich Guard, as well as put a wound on Anakia. Unfortunately, that didn't go too well for us. Good things though, over here, the Immortals took an absolute beat. Both the Dread Knights at these sides here used the Heavy Incinerator, as well as the Large Blast side cannon shot, and despite having shred because of the formation, as you can see, only 3 Immortals were brought down. The Spider hasn't taken any wounds, the Tomb Blades passed all the reanimations as well. Fantastic. The only other shooting that Tom did was trying to kill these wraiths here. They're out of range to get what's it called, reanimation protocols at the moment, but I managed to pass all of me 3-up invuns. So that was it for shooting. Let's move on to the combats. Wow, combats have been brutal on us this turn. These 3 guys managed to actually kill 1 warrior. As a result, I lost combat and I rolled a 10 for my leadership, and they overran us. So yeah, and the consolidated 5 inches onto objective 1. Down here, the Interceptors charged in at the Destroyers. The Destroyers got 2 hits and managed to bring 2 of them down to Overwatch. Unfortunately, Tom still rolled a 5 and he was just within range. We did hold morale though, despite taking a single wound from the Falchions as well, due to them being AP3. So that is ongoing for the moment. Down here, the Dread Knight sighted the Immortals who he'd been shooting at, tried to charge them and stumbled, and unfortunately didn't quite make it in. Despite the Immortals getting a couple of hits, unfortunately we didn't wound the Dread Knight, so never mind about that. Alright, the Terminator's down here, swung at the Destroyer Lord, but didn't do any wounds at all. The Destroyer Lord in turn swung back and managed to cut one of the Terminators down with his War Scythe. The Scarabs eating away at the lone Terminator's armour, and he just simply swatted them off. He failed morale and ran out of there. Obviously he is automatically going to regroup. So the only other combat we had was over here. The Wraith still got to swing first, and we actually managed to get a triple rend in on the Dread Knight, and Tom failed 2 of his saves. So the Dread Knight is down to 2 wounds. Unfortunately, due to him hitting at strength 10, he did insta-kill me. I failed 3 of me invuns, and I don't get reanimation due to being more than 12 inches away from the Spider. Hopefully the Destroyer Lord can bring him down next turn.
Okay, so an okayish turn, took a bit of a hammering, but I managed to secure objective 1, and I'm going to discard hold the line because I'm not going to be retreating anytime soon, hopefully. Going with objective 5, I'm still going to hang on to objective 2, and hopefully I might clear that middle, because I've still got the Vortex on the table, and well, might pull out another one next turn. Fingers crossed.
Right, so with that ends Grey Knight's turn 2. The Vortex is now going to scatter Tom. Do you want to do the honours? Bearing in mind, we've got Anakia in the Monolith, or we've got the Librarian here. Oh no!
Goes out. Doubles.
It does.
It disappears.
Oh.
Oh, I just have to do it next turn again, see what happens.
Yeah. Right, so I've drew secure, objective 3, slaughter the living, kill a unit, and secure 4. Right, so to try and get rid of these guys here, the Warriors and the 2 Tomb Blades, they're going to be charging up this side, I think. Hopefully the shots should be able to bring them down. The Destroyers have pulled out, looking to start bringing this Wraith Knight down. These guys are caught up in combat, and these ones are also going to be shooting in as well. Hopefully we can do enough damage. Yeah, the Spider, I'm going to have to charge in, I reckon, if I don't do the damage. Anakia and the remaining Lich Guard, again, coming for the Dread Knight. The Monolith, I've tried to put it in the way of those guys there. I mean, he's going to get Infinity out the way anyway, but at least that stops him from charging. So yeah, the Immortals have stayed where they are, and the Catan, we're looking hopefully to do some damage on that Dread Knight and seriously start bringing them down. Down here, the Scarabs and the Destroyer Lord, looking hopefully to start eating away at this Dread Knight. Hopefully we can bring him down as he's on 2 wounds. And we've just moved on to the start of the shooting phase. The Tomb Blades here have flat outed onto this objective here as well. So let's move on to the rest of the shooting. We've got a lot of damage to deal out, hopefully. Right, so these guys, we managed to do some damage. We killed 2, including the Justicar, and then Tom's failed his morale and ran 17 inches back here. Yep. Now the Catan, I was debating either going for the Dread Knight or going for the Librarian squad with his passive ability as well as the Catan powers. These guys, I wanted to go for them, but at the minute the Dread Knights are posing a bit more of a risk, so I elected to move this way instead. We managed to make him fail his morale check due to Gears of Death, and Tom failed both of his invuns. He rolled a 12 for his leadership check, so he's down to 2. We then got Transdimensional Thunderbolt, and despite getting a hit, I rolled a 1 to wound. So that wasn't too good. Never mind. The Catan's going to be charging in there. The Immortals also rapid fired in, and unfortunately, despite getting a couple of wounds, just plinked off the Dread Knight's armour. Meanwhile, over this side, both units of destroyers shot in to this Dread Knight here, and yeah, my destroyers need to learn to shoot, because rolling 2s all the time for shooting, and then when I did get a hit with one of the heavies, that one back there, rolled a 1, re-rolled it for preferred enemy, rolled a 1. So yeah, that wasn't too good. However, this heavy destroyer did manage to strip a wound off him. Anakia even shot the Tachyon arrow at him, and unfortunately failed the wound as well. So yes, going on to assault, we've got a few charges to make. The Spider and the Lich Guard are going to be coming in here. The Catan, I might chuck the Immortals in as well, see if I can do some extra damage maybe. And the Destroyer Lord and the Scarabs are going to be charging in at this Dread Knight. Hopefully we can start to thin Tom's forces out. Right, so as you can see, all of these have charged in. The plan is he's only got 3 wounds. Between the war sides, a few extra attacks from the destroyers, and then a couple of extra from the Spider, being at AP2, I'm hoping I can bring this Dread Knight down. Down here, the plan was to charge the Catan in, and these guys will have Furious Charge due to Anakia's ability, so at least Strength 5, he's going to get his 2-up armor save, but I'm hoping to just cause a couple of extra wounds, just forcing him to roll more and more dice. So hopefully that can happen. However, the Catan has took a lot of wounds to Overwatch. He's down to 1. Nasty, nasty stuff. Didn't pass a single invuln. And the only other charge that I made was the Destroyer Lord. He managed to tank all of the wounds coming in from the Incinerator and the Heavy Side Cannon. The Scarabs have gone in as well. So hopefully we can be quite nasty and bring down the 3 Dread Knights in this one single assault phase. Let's see what we can do. So, the plan is paying off. The Catan managed to bring down the Dread Knight. Unfortunately, the Dread Knight swung back at the same time and managed to cut it in half as it exploded on the Immortals. However, the Immortals stood defiant with their reanimation protocols. Over here, the Destroyer Lord didn't take any wounds and managed to cut down the Dread Knight here. And an interesting little scenario here. This Dread Knight killed 2 of the Lich Guard. The single Lich Guard swung back and got 3 wounds, but Tom managed to pass 2 of his invuns. The Spider managed to wound, and he passed his invuln as well, and the Destroyers failed to do anything. Now obviously I lost combat by 1, and all 3 units have actually failed their leadership checks, so we'll have to see what's going to happen about chasing them down. Never mind, the Spider is fearless, so it does hold the Dread Knight there. Thank God. So Anakia, he was challenging the combat, but he's ran. We are running away from the last Dread Knight, and God knows why when we managed to cut the other 2 down. And these destroyers are also running as well. So our plan didn't quite go off. The Spider, however, is being defiant and trying to tie this Dread Knight up. Hopefully she can hold it there until I can charge the Destroyer Lord in next turn. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so turn 3 for Necrons. We do secure objective 3, the Tomb Blades are on it. Secure objective 4, the Warriors are on. And Slaughter the Living, we managed to kill 2 Dread Knights. So that puts me at 7 points.
Okay, so Grey Knights turn 3. I still have secure objective 2, which is very potentially possible this turn. No prisoners. Hopefully going to kick that Spider in the nuts and kill it. Behind enemy lines, that lone interceptor could shunt straight across and get it. So I think we might go for that since he's by himself. He's not really combat effective, so he might as well pick up the objective and take one for the team.
Right, so this guy's here shunted. Don't know why, but whatever. The Thin and Grey Knight force, however, still being led by the Librarian, is moving this way. Is he going for the Warriors? Is he going for this objective? Is he going to maybe try and cast Vortex of Doom on the Destroyers? Who knows? Maybe he's even the Monolith. The only other thing was this Terminator here. He's running up the centre. God knows where he's going. But he's surrounded and outnumbered severely. And the Dread Knight, of course, is tied up in combat with the Spider. So yeah, let's move on to the Psychic phase. Right, so Tom obviously reckons he can survive this combat if he got Sanctuary off, which he has done. Rather than casting Force, I seriously expected him to go for Force instead. But he didn't. I think what he's done, he tried to Gate of Infinity these guys out. Unfortunately, he didn't get it off, so instead cast Vortex of Doom on that Destroyer, but he scattered back slightly. Thank God for that, because look at that mess. Yeah, he then cast Hammer Hand on the unit, and unfortunately I couldn't stop it. So they're going to be nasty for combat. Or I'm guessing they're probably going to be charging the Monolith. Yeah. Yeah, nobody knows why the Interceptor went over here. He only went and killed one of the Tomb Blades with his Stormbolter, and then failed the morale and ran off the board. Yeah, all the Leadership 10 morale checks, every single one of them that I've had to make, I've failed. They've ran in turn 1, those guys all ran, they've ran again here, and I got overran here. Leadership 10. Alright, so down here the lone Terminator charged in, unfortunately failed to wound the Spider. The Spider, she's doing well for us. Yeah, Tom's stabbing the anus. Yeah, the Spider. Sound good. Yeah, Spider's doing us proud though. She's holding the Dread Knight in place. She's determined to hold it up until the Destroyer Lord can get back there and do the remaining damage to it. Only other thing that happened down here, the Librarian failed to damage the Monolith, but the Justicar's Melter Bomb managed to pen, and Tom rolled a 4, which means the Monolith is now immobilized. That is not good news for me, as it's slap bang in the middle of the way and nothing can shoot at them. Lovely. So, this is going to scatter, and then we'll have a look at Tom's points. Don't go towards me, go towards him.
No, fuck off. Has to scatter, so I'll re-roll that until I get scattered points.
Oh, straight back 7 inches, so it's going to come down here. Probably not going to touch anything.
Okay, so a bit more of a successful turn for me, even though I've not got to let go, got a lot left going, so probably going to get table, but it's still a fun game. Didn't get objective 2. It's been there all game, but there's not really a lot around there now, to be honest. If I can break any of my units free, then potentially might be able to go get it. I did get no prisoners because the Tomb Blades decided that they didn't like living anymore and ran away. So I'm now on 2 points, woohoo. And of course I got behind enemy lines, which is the whole reason I jumped the Intercept over there in the first place, so he's getting the promotion and taking medals when he gets home. Fantastic stuff.
Right, so Necron turn 4, we drew Witch Hunter, should be able to get that. Hold the line. That's going to be hard considering the Librarian is probably within 12, we'll have to measure. No prisoners was drawn for Thrall of the Silent King. So if my Warlord kills a unit, he gets D3. Right, so we've got a bit of a plan. Hopefully these guys can do enough damage just to that one guy there and maybe kill him. If they kill him, then the Snapfire and Destroyers and potentially the other Destroyers might be able to insta-kill the Librarian if I get lucky with the Heavy Destroyers. However, these ones, I need to get rid of him. And the Warriors couldn't get into him. The Monolith can't see him due to this big wall being in the way. So yeah, it's going to be an order of firing over there. And the Monolith, unfortunately, can't move now, and the guns can't see him either. So fantastic. However, these guys here are going to shoot through this gap and hopefully do some damage. I'm going to rapid fire them first, as they are within rapid fire range. And the Tomb Blades here have pulled sideways straight, looking to hopefully give support and fire into them. Right, so we've done both the shooting and the combat. These destroyers here managed to kill the interceptor over this side, scoring us hold the line. These guys here rapid fired and managed to bring down the Terminator that was at the front. Unfortunately, they couldn't see through the Vortex of Doom due to it being impassable terrain, and couldn't do the Librarian in. Tom actually rolled about 6 saves and rolled 3 ones for the front Terminator, which was lovely. The destroyers back here snapshot down at the Librarian, hoping to insta-kill him with the heavy Gauss cannon. Unfortunately, we didn't get any hits. The guys on this side, however, went down to the Immortals rapid firing through there, as well as the Tomb Blades. Here we managed to bring 2 of them down, and they have passed their leadership check. In combat, over here, the Destroyer Lord managed to cut down the Terminator, the Dread Knight cut down the Spider, and unfortunately, despite the Scarabs getting only 3 wounds in on the Dread Knight, Tom managed to pass all of his saves. So yeah, not so good, kind of okay. Let's have a look at the score. Right, so for scores, I score Thrall of the Silent King because he actually managed to kill a single unit. So I score 1 point for no prisoners, plus D3 for Thrall of the Silent King. So I'm on 8 with that. Puts me at 11. I score Witch Hunter for killing the Interceptor, gives me 12, plus Hold the Line, puts me at 13. Right, so we've just rolled the scatter for the Vortex of Doom, and it's landed right there basically, and it's just clipping the Librarian and the Monolith. So Tom, do you want to roll and see what happens to the Monolith?
A nice 6 here would be nice.
2, so that's D3. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. And then the Librarian, come on, a 6.
1.
Give us a 6.
Give us a 1.
Yeah! Oh no. So there we go. The Monolith has been sucked into the vortex. It's just a smoking wreck of twisted metal nearby, and the Librarian has been cut down, scoring me Slayer the Warlord as well. So let's move on to Grey Knight's turn 4.
Okay, so Grey Knight's turn 4. I've still got objective 2, which is starting to look less and less likely. Ascendancy. I don't have 3 units, so that's really not going to happen. Hungry for Glory, issued a challenge. Yes, potential. So we'll just see how it goes. I'm probably going to lose this, but I still want to kill as much as I can.
Right, so we've done the entire Grey Knight's turn. In the Psychic phase, this guy managed to get Hammer Hand off. Despite that, Tom rolled a double 1 with both attacks to wound. So yeah, the Destroyers are still stood there doing nothing. Down here, these Terminators pulled across and shot the Stormbolters into the Immortals. The Immortals, however, lost 1 of their number. They didn't run away in combat despite losing 1 more. And despite having 10 attacks due to counter-attack from Anakia, yeah, we only got a single wound. So that wasn't good at all. Down here, came so close to slaying the Dread Knight. The Destroyer Lord managed to get a single wound in on him. Tom managed to get 3 wounds on the Destroyer Lord, but I passed me 4 invuns on everything. The Scarabs even managed to get a couple of wounds in on him as well, but Tom passed his 2 up armor. So let's have a look at his score and see if he scores any points.
Okay, I forgot to see on camera that was just no challenge with the Dread Knight, but managed to get that. So that's an extra 50 point for that. Still haven't got objective 2, and I'm going to discard Ascendancy because, yeah, fantastic.
Right, so I've drew secure objective 1 twice, and I've drew overwhelming firepower. Overwhelming firepower I can't get due to everyone being in combat. Right, so we've moved the warriors this side. We're going to stay strong on this back flank, and they're going to secure this one. Over here, we're looking to march forward and start to overwhelm the remainder of the Grey Knight. So the Tomb Blades are going to be charging in as well. The Destroyers, we're looking to overwhelm this Purifier here. And Anakia, yeah, Interceptor and Anakia and the Lone Lich Guard have also gone in. So hopefully we can bring the Grey Knights down in this turn. I've got 2 Terminators here that are going to be the problem. I'm hoping that we can bring this interceptor down. Hopefully. And I reckon we can probably bring the Grey Knight down unless I roll really badly. So yeah, let's do these combats and see if we can get rid of the Grey Knights from this world and rise more Necrons to the surface to take over the planet. Right, so thankfully the weight of firepower, or weight of attack rather, from all the destroyers here managed to kill the interceptor. He did bring one down before he was mowed over by the rest of them. Over this way, the destroyer lord and a key between them managed to swing and bring the Dread Knight down to his knees, collapsing a smoking wreck. And then down here, the Terminators managed to put down 2 of the Immortals. Unfortunately, we didn't do any damage back. We then went straight on to Grey Knight's turn 5, as Tom only had these guys left, and as you can see, managed to kill another Immortal with Hammer Hand on as well. And unfortunately, we held morale. That is the end of the game, that is the end of turn 5, so it is a Necron victory. I hope you've enjoyed the battles between the Necrons and the Grey Knights. Necrons winning combat, who'd have thought of that? The Destroyer Lord, I think he definitely needs to be named after what he's done. He's killed Drago. Yeah, and he's managed to bring down 2 Dread Knights as well. So yeah, Tom, epic handshake, mate. Awesome game. Always love playing Tom. Like I said, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you realise I've done anything wrong, please comment. I'm still learning with my Necrons. But yeah, thank you very much for subscribing, and see you in the next battle.